Hi, I'm Mike. You may need to replace the drive pulley on your GE washer model if you notice that the drum in your washer isn't rotating at all or not effectively, and you may need to replace this part if your washer is making loud noises while your washer is in operation. For this repair, you'll need a pair of channel locks, a pair of pliers, a 1/4-inch nut driver, a pair of needle nose pliers, 2 putty knives, a flathead screwdriver, a 5/16 nut driver, a hammer, a 3/4-inch wrench, and a spanner wrench. Before doing any repairs, completely disconnect your appliance from its power source. To begin our repair, we're going to disconnect the main water supply from the washer. Next, using 1/4-inch nut driver, we're going to unscrew the screws that hold in the front panel assembly and the back panel assembly. Next, we're going to lift up on the front panel assembly and just slide it to the left, and we're going to pop it out just like that. And next, we're going to disconnect any wires to the main control board. And we're going to remove this front panel assembly out of the way. Next, we're going to remove the front panel of the washer. Using 2 putty knives, we're just going to lock into the locks. We're going to pop that front panel out. We're just going to lift up and remove that front panel. After that front panel has been removed, next we're going to undo the screws that is holding the top of the washer to the frame of the washer. So next we're just going to pull the top of the washer just a little loose. Next we're going to open up the door. Next, using a flathead screwdriver, we're going to push the lid switch through the top of the washer. We're just going to pull it out and slide it through. And after that, we're going to remove the top of the washer from the machine. So next, we're going to be removing this metal plate. We're going to do that by first removing any insulation or padding. And next, using a 1/4-inch nut driver, we're just going to remove those screws. So next, we're going to remove these white end caps. We're just going to slide those out with our hands. So next, we're just going to remove the back. We're just going to slide it to the side. Next, using a pair of needle nose pliers, we're going to remove the water level switch hose. We're just going to slide that hose through. And we're going to remove this back metal plate and just place it to the side as well. So next, we're going to disconnect the hose from the outside of the tub. Next, using a pair of pliers, we're going to loosen up on this clamp right here to get the drainage hose off of the drain pipe. Next, using a 5/16 nut driver, we're going to remove the 4 dampening straps from the tub. Next, we're going to remove the top cover of the tub. So just gently using your hands, we're just going to lift up on this clip and pull up. We'll do that all around the tub. So next, we're just going to lift the top cover of the tub out. So next, we're going to take the agitator out of the washer. We're just going to lift up with our hands. We're going to remove it. Next, using a 7/16 nut driver, we're going to remove the agitator nut. And once that's removed, we're just going to lift up and remove the agitator coupling. The hub nut's going to be located right here. And to remove the hub nut, we're going to need a spanner wrench. So we're going to fit that around the hub nut. And you're going to notice that on the nut itself, it's going to say loosen in a direction. So using our hammer, we're going to hit the spanner wrench in order to loosen the hub nut. And once that nut's loose enough, we're going to just use our hands and we're going to pull it out like so. So once that nut hub has been removed, next we're going to remove the inner tub of the washer. Be careful while you're doing this, you might need assistance. Next, we're going to remove the split tub bearing using a flathead screwdriver. We're just going to press into this cut, which will loosen it up for us, and then we're just going to slide it off. The hub washer is going to be located right here. And using our hands, we're just going to remove it. So next, we're going to remove the support rods from the tub. We're going to do that by using a hammer, and we're just going to pop them out by lifting up the tub and pressing down on the hammer. Next, we're going to remove the wires from the motor and the frame of the tub. We're going to do that first by unclipping the wires connected to the motor. Once all the wires have been removed, next we're going to remove the two front suspension rods. So once both those support rods have been removed, next we're just going to push the tub out of the front of the washer on its side. I'm going to lay it upside down just like that. So the driver pulley is going to be this big wheel-like thing right here. So next we're going to remove the drive belt, and we'll do that by pulling up with it on the belt with our hands and sliding it off the pulley. So next, using a 3/4 wrench and a hammer, we're going to remove the bolt that holds the driver pulley to the drive shaft. So next we're going to remove our old drive pulley by just sliding it off the drive shaft. Next, grab your new OEM replacement drive pulley. If you don't have one of these pulleys already, you can find one on one of our online stores. Next, we're going to put our drive pulley onto the drive shaft. So next, we're going to take our pulley nut and put it on the drive shaft. So next, we're going to take our belt and we're going to place it around the motor. And then we're going to place it on the pulley. We're just going to spin the pulley while holding the belt in place. So once your belt is secure, you can now reassemble the washer. Next, we're going to place the tub back into the washer cabinet. So we're going to do that by making sure that the counterweight is in front. We're just going to lift up and place it in carefully. So next we're going to put in our front suspension rods. So next we're going to connect the front suspension rods to the tub. So next we're going to connect the rear suspension rods to the tub the same way we connected the front ones. So using our hands, we're just going to place the washer onto the drive shaft so it fits into position. So we're going to take our split bearing and using our hands, we're just going to slide it into position. We're going to press down tight, this way we know that it's going to be set in position. So next we're going to place the inner drum back into the washer. And next we're going to replace our hub nut. We're just going to spin that into position with our hands. Using our spanner wrench, we're going to place that on the tub nut. And using a hammer, we're going to tighten the hub nut tight enough so the tub doesn't move on the drive shaft. And once you notice that the hub nut is tight enough and secure, next we're going to replace our agitator coupling. We're going to replace the agitator nut. So next we're going to replace our tub cover. We're just going to make sure that all the clips align with the outside of the tub. So it may take a little bit to get it into position. So once your tub's in position, we're just going to snap all the clips that we popped off recently onto the outside of the washer. When you think that all the clips on the tub cover are connected, I would just take your hand and make sure that none of the clips are unconnected. Once you notice that they're all securely fastened, so next we're going to reconnect our hose to the outside of the tub. So next we're going to reattach our dampening straps. So next we're going to replace this back assembly. So next we're going to put in our end caps. So next we're going to connect our pressure switch hose to the pressure switch. So next we're going to replace our agitator. Next we're going to grab the top of the washer and we're just going to set it into position. So we're just going to lift up and we're going to grab our switch and we're going to slide it through the top just like that, slide it in and lock it into position. So once the door switch is in, next we're going to replace the foam on the inside of the back assembly. Next we're going to adjust the top of the washer so it fits into place. So next we're going to screw the top of the washer back into place. Pliers, I'm going to tighten up on the drain hose clip. And with our hand, we're just going to slide the drain hose into position. And next, just make sure that it's locked onto the drain pipe tightly, this way no water will leak out. Next, we're going to reconnect all the wires to the motor and the motor frame assembly. So next, we're going to set in the front panel and just lock it in. So next we're going to reattach the wires to the main control board on the display assembly. Once all the wires have been reconnected, next we're going to slide the display assembly and lock it in. So next we're just going to replace the screws that we took out previously to lock the back panel and the display panel together. So next we're going to connect our water inlet hoses. And once both hoses are secure, your repair is complete. Finally, don't forget to plug in your appliance. Thanks for watching our video. Please like, comment, or share. And if you liked our video, please subscribe down below.